Welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. But today is not a normal episode. As you can see, it's episode 18.5. Today I will update you guys on a layer I finally was able to add after, debating with someone else if I should do it. And I did. Of course, we all know the provinces map. That one is slowly getting updated every episode. And also in between episodes if I have to. Then we have the major cities, of course, with normal cities without capitals, where major settlements are lying with major populations. But we also have, of course, the capital cities map. And here we only have, a few dots around. Apparently red is gone. Why is that? Oh, it's because it's on the wrong layer. Good to know. And now it's on the good layer. That's good to know. And, as you can see, almost every color has its own capital city, besides these two colors, mint and lavender, because they are ruled with just all the major cities combined. And then the last map, or layer I added, was the alliance map. And slowly it will get updated every time we have to find or establish new alliances, but those layers are speaking for itself. I finally got around to add a religion map. And this one, oh boy, it's looking interesting. And let's just break it down step by step. Of course, this series started around here with red. And, you can see, red's religion. I don't have an established religion like what they are believing in or whatever. You can fill that in if you want. But we have red dominating the Mediterranean coast here in Africa and in Spain, a little bit of France, Sicily and Italy a little bit, and here a little bit as well. That's the main group that started it off, this series. But we also have lime here in the Mediterranean coast and going down into Africa. That's because lime was established here. But when lime got into this territory with red, they got friends, they, meshed together. That's why the religion here is red. And if you can see, you can also see, of course, that dark red is under this religion. They don't change their religion, they only change their, let's say, political direction, their ruling direction. So red's religion is going all the way here to the south, where all these civilizations are lying, including beige. And eventually, maybe, there will be a mix between lavender's and red's religion. Then we have, I think, one of the greatest religion here, and that's, of course, blue's religion, because blue divided up in, purple, and purple and blue both have a major amount of land. Of course, here lime's religion is still a part of the culture of the population, but the newer areas of blue are like their part of the religion. There is of course a separation from blue that happened all the way back in the beginning. It was cyan. Cyan has its own religion, and it spreads across the whole center of Europe. You cannot really call it center of Europe. More like Russia and Turkey and Greece and all the other countries right here. There are still little pockets of blue that just are inside cyan, also inside neon lime. There it's like a mess, if you can see. It's interesting if we ever cover this. And I will. That's because I'm making this episode in between the normal ones, to give you guys the information I now have about the religions. Green is also a part of this cyan religion. Pink as well. But if we take a look at dark pink, they made a new religion together with gold. It's like cyan and gold mixed together and made sort of another religion. And of course there are already maybe too much religions in the world if you compare it to our world. But still, the world is different. Our world is in many different ways different than this world. And I make it up my own. But you see, for example, a really clear line here that's dividing the cyan religion with dark pink. Not many overlaps, but here you can see that some provinces are have two religions. but also if we enable countries instead of religion, you see where they sort of overlap. The two northern civilizations have one religion. It's of course not known how these two civilizations, gold and grey, got established, but they have the gold religion. So maybe you can assume that gold was here first. Maybe. And then we have Central Europe. It's a mess. It's a mess. Of course we had red, that really got far into France, but nowadays it's of course the brown team with dark red even below it. And brown has a little bit of religion here in France, but orange as well. But the origin of orange that got here in the Netherlands still has some parts that believe the red religion. Also a teeny tiny bit here in England, because I think, if I'm correct, well, I looked it up of course when I made this map, that orange got here. Of course orange was in the whole island of Great Britain, but then brown took over, and you can see they cleaned it up a bit. Still some red religion here as well in Ireland, because red was here together with orange before brown got established. And then of course we have the magenta religion, that's stemming from the cyan one, that's stemming from the blue one. Same with the countries of course. It's a little bit of a mess here at the coast, with some blue still left, with some cyan, with some magenta. But if we enable the country map, it's purely just magenta. Maybe something can happen here though, who knows. And now we have Italy still, with some old First Great War remnants, with blue going here, that eventually broke apart into magenta of course, and some red here as well. And this teeny tiny island has blue and magenta's religion. Cyprus is also in half, just a nice fact. And then of course we have the two sort of, well, you can almost call them the children of the series. I don't know why, but they are one of the newer countries of course. Magenta, lavender and mint, but they are all under one religion. The only thing that changed because they got into a fight was they have different opinions about stretching out, finding new land and expanding. And of course lavender is here as well. And yes, of course there are some like teeny tiny parts that I have to update. Like this, I have to update that though. But for the most part this map is clean. And we only have to look at one more part of the world, and that's here of course, where we had the cliffhanger, where gold got where red is. Of course this is like a really large area for just 10 people that are living here. Note, maybe there are already some people dead, but there are still a few people alive of course. Definitely the captain that got here in the first place. Foreshadowing for episode 19. And gold just has Iceland and has Greenland with their religion as well. But that's the most part that we talked about, without talking about the first great plot twist of the series so far, and that's when Lion got back from the dead. If you enable the normal map, Dark Cyan is nowhere to be found, but their religion still is. They were like rebel groups, what they are believing in, I don't know. Maybe you know. Tell me in the comments if you want to make an interesting part about religion as well. But Lime is here too. But also some Cyan religion is creeping into the Limes, or well now old Dark Cyan country. This is a difficult country, a hard country to understand. If you know the lore it's great, but if you don't know, this part is a mess. Together with of course, well, the whole center of Europe here too, with where magenta and cyan's religion are coming together. And if you have a really detailed eye, you sometimes see like this, a small pocket of orange inside magenta, and here we had a small pocket of blue. That's just to have some fun that maybe like a small village moved out or moved away, something like that. But that's the whole religion map of Wisco so far, and I'm going to use it in the next episodes as well, slowly but surely. But now you know a little bit all about the religions of my Wisco series, and I want to adapt it from now on. And let's say these two, like let's say dark blue and science religion, are both almost the same but have some deviations from one another. If you want to write down the lore for this, you are free to do so in the comments down below, and I can take a look at it and maybe write it down in an official document for the future when we adapt the civilization's religion some more. And now I will see you all in the very next official episode of What If Civilization Started Over.